From the network that brought you the Dro Bro Show and Remo's interviews, brings you the brand new Hot Tag with Grimex and Mr. Vicious. Yeah.
What's up, everybody? This is Mr. Vicious, Remo Vinci, and we are back with another episode of the Hot Tag. And I got my fellow Dro Bro with me, Grimex. Say what's up, my brother. How you doing?
How's it going? Tagging in. Had a
Tagging in.
good week.
Hell yeah.
So for those of you who don't know, honestly, and I want to bring this up right at the beginning so we could get through this pretty quickly, but today is the second day of San Diego Comic-Con, for those that don't know. And Comic-Con is a big deal for not just comic collectors, but also wrestling fans. I mean, there's a lot of unveils that happened this weekend. Just last night alone, phenomenal unveils. I mean, I was just telling Remo, one of my things that I'm most excited about was the Macho Man CM Punk attire that they're going to come out with in Elite form.
That's going to be sick.
And they're dropping the modern WWE Raw ring because they've only been releasing the older rings from older pay-per-views and shows, so they haven't had a modern ring released yet. It's gonna be on Mattel Creations, just like the Punk or the Cody Rhodes or the Logan Pauls that came out. And it's gonna come with an Ultimate Edition Rhea Ripley that is exclusive to the ring. And I think the ring lights up on the post and on the banners and stuff, and all the stuff's gonna be interchangeable so that you could change it out for like SmackDown and stuff.
Hell yeah, that's dope, bro. I like the sound of that. I like how they make it all interchangeable. That way you could kind of, let your imagination do the work there. That's pretty neat. Is there any other releases that you wanted to cover real quick before we get into this week's news?
Well, I mean, there's quite a bit. Obviously, they showed the final pictures of the Kerry Sane figure of the Ultimate Edition Dominic, Rey Mysterio, the Great Muta. They also showed off the final boss Rock, and a new Solo Sokoa in Ultimate Edition form finally. They also showed off the first time in the line renditions of Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga. So yeah, that means we're about a year out before those figures come, because when they show the renditions, you're a year out.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So
I wondered how that works. That's pretty cool,
and these
man.
are gray renders. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. So all we've seen of the Kerry Sane and the Ultimate Edition Final Boss Rock, all of that shit, it's been renders. And then so yesterday was the first time they actually showed full resolution images. So we're not at the point of the mock-up, because obviously these figures are probably the ones that you're just seeing the renders complete now. You're probably going to see these figures released close to around either in February or March, if not WrestleMania. You know what I mean?
Well, that's going to be exciting. I can't wait to see some of these figures turn out. That final boss Rock one, I'm definitely interested in, and then there's a couple others that sound pretty tight too. So
they got two of them actually. So they have the one where he's in the underwear from night. Was it one? He wore the underwear because night two, or was it? Yeah, night one he wore the underwear under the Elvis suit. Yeah, so they made him like that.
Do they have the Elvis suit?
They haven't shown it. So usually when they show these figures, the cloth goods aren't shown because these are render shots. So we don't know. But what I can say is that it would most likely be the Elvis one, because the figure of him is the final boss form with the vest. It's that black and red and white vest, right? He comes with the Mama Rhodes belt, and he has on the black pants that are sculpted on, right? Just the straight black pants. So because they're sculpted on, because they're the straight black, I would imagine that the one in the underwear is going to come with cloth goods that are probably going to be the white Elvis attire.
Oh yeah, that'll be tight. Well, there you go. Anybody that's attending the Comic-Cons or whatever, be ready and be excited for all this cool stuff. I know this season of all the Comic-Cons and all the fan fests and all that kind of stuff is a big deal, bro. And I've never gone, so it'd be really cool if maybe next year we could do the Fan Expo here in Denver, do a little live Dro Bro thing there or something. That'd be hella dope. So everybody stay tuned, and Grim will keep you updated on the latest figures and everything. Stay tuned to the Hot Tag, and he'll keep you updated on all that kind of stuff. So with that being said, my brother, will you school me on what's been happening this week? Because I don't get to watch.
Yeah, so we're gonna start off with SmackDown, obviously, because SmackDown's from last week and it's
Yep.
tomorrow night. So we're always gonna be a week behind, basically. So, anyways, the night starts out with Cody Rhodes coming out. He greets the boxer Terrence Crawford, who's sitting at ringside, and he gets in the
Oh,
ring,
cool.
and the fans are, uh,
I said, oh,
yeah.
cool. That's
So
neat.
the fans are chanting Cody and Randy, okay, and what's his name? Cody says he basically so he tells this heartfelt story, and I do want to kind of rush through this, so maybe I shouldn't get in so detailed. So anyways, he basically is
Yeah,
saying that
just quick highlights so we could do it quickly because we got a Drobro show to do after this, y'all.
yeah, he's saying that he's hurting because his friend Brandy's all on the sidelines right now because the bloodline, they're beefing with Cody, and since Randy and KO have been backing him, obviously they both have now paid the price, and that'll be future with the KO. So anyways, fucking Grayson Waller and Austin Theory come out and they basically say, no, the reason why we got jumped in our match and screwed out of our freaking tag titles, because remember I told you they were facing DIY, and Jake Statue came and threw them out of the ring, beat everyone up, and then they came out and Cody came out to greet them. So anyways, this starts fucking fight between them, and obviously Cody don't have Randy, so KO's gonna back him this night because fucking Randy's out. So, anyways, it's gonna be them in the main event, is what they're saying. Um, let's the whole Carmelo Hayes Andrade thing don't matter. Andrade beat him. That was a good ass match too. Andrade
They
beat him.
put on some serious quality matches, those two. I think it reminds me a lot when Austin started his rise and he had Savio Vega there to help him out and to get him going with things. I kind of feel like that's what's happening with Carmelo Hayes. I feel like Andrade is the one that's kind of helping him out on the main roster, and it's pretty awesome because I know we both like Andrade and we expect big things from him, hopefully. So I think that this is one of those steps, hopefully. I hope he just doesn't get typecast into this role as like the enhancement guy that like the gatekeeper almost. I hope that's not the case for him. So
So hopefully is the exact words, because I feel that they're not using him to his potential and they're not using him to what, and I like what you're saying, because any wrestler who's made it themselves that can put other wrestlers over, that says a lot about you. And
yeah,
not only in your character, but you as a wrestler in the business. So anyways, this match was phenomenal. It was badass. I was just saying I don't want to get into their bullshit from backstage stuff, but
yeah, no doubt.
freaking dope match. And Andrade ends up winning. It was sick. It could have went either way, but yeah.
Was it?
Hopefully, is
Do you know if they're feuding for that speed championship that Andrade has?
people are saying that because they're both fast, but
Yeah.
no, their beef is starting over because Carmelo Hayes got freaking drafted to the main roster from NXT, and they haven't really done nothing with him. And he's basically like, "No, I need my time. That's why they drafted me. I'm the shit, basically." And that's how he got his way into the Money in the Bank. But
I
because of
see.
Money in the Bank, or yeah, it was Money in the Bank. He
Mm.
freaking calls out Andrade because that badass power bomb he does to him when he flips over the ladder and slams him on that other ladder that's in the ladder. So, anyways, he's basically like, you cost me my chance at my title. So he called
Okay.
him out in Andrade's interview, and that's
Yeah.
basically why they're feuding right now, because Andrade is like, who the fuck are you? You know what I mean? First of all, you got to prove yourself before you think you're anything. We're on my time in my interview. And so that basically started this feud, which is,
I
like you
see.
said, it's cool because it boosts him as a character who's trying to prove himself. So after that match, we go to Nia Jax and Bailey have a sit down interview. They're talking about shit, and hell, she says that she's the queen because she's the queen of the division. That's what Nia tells Bailey, basically. And Bailey retorts that she wants her to know that she's changed too, because she walked in as champ. She's going to walk in as champion and she'll walk out as champion at SummerSlam. And Nia says the interview's over. Richard, peace out. Okay, so then it goes to Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill, and they're stopped by Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. McNiven before they can get into the Nick Aldis's office. They argue, and it's basically going to cause a match to happen later that night. The match happens, and Chelsea, she wins, or she gets pinned by Bianca, I mean, basically. And so this is starting a feud between them because they both think that they deserve the title shot. And obviously, Bianca and Jade want their titles back. Okay.
Okay, well, that's good. I'm glad to see that they're doing more stuff with them now because those two men are just fire together. So we'll see. We got about 10 minutes left, so let's get it quicking.
Okay, so LA Knight and Logan Paul have their thing. Tiffy comes out, does her shit, right? Just basically comes out during the Mitchin match because Mitchin's been fucking with her since the Nia Jax thing. So Bailey comes out.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to skip ahead a little bit, but I saw a clip on Instagram of Tiffy giving Mitchin like this freaking ridiculous Alabama slam on the outside, bro. It looked like it freaking killed her, bro. It looked insane.
So, Tiffy loses the match because Bailey breaks the briefcase, destroys it, smashes the shit out of it. Okay, makes her all sad because that's her fucking thing. So, anyways, let's go to the Cody Rhodes, Kevin Owens, and A-Town Down Under. Cody Rhodes wins by pinfall, obviously landing his fucking shit. And the Bloodline come out and they fuck up Cody Rhodes and they fuck up Kevin Owens big time. So obviously they're taking out all his allies so that there's nothing left because we have 1 week until fucking SummerSlam after this Saturday. So after this week, there's 1 more week. So they're leading into Roman.
Still SmackDown, right?
Yeah, that was the main event. So I'm trying to rush through it at this point since we're
go ahead.
Low. So anyways, the night at Raw starts off and Punk comes out basically saying that he's been cleared and all that shit. McIntyre comes out and he wants to fight Punk. And no, his suspension's been lifted. He's been cleared, but he's been suspended because of the way he acted at the last pay-per-view. But
I mean Punk though. I mean Punk being cleared. That's big news. That's good stuff right there.
No, so they were gonna go at it, but McIntyre's like, wait, you need to hear this. And so Pierce tells them, nah, you guys can't fight. That's in the contract. Like you can have the match and you guys could do whatever you want to each other in your match. But until the match, neither one of you could touch each other or the match don't happen. And so they're like, all right, cool, we're good with that. And then he says, but there's one more thing that's in the contract. And then freaking it does the burn it down, you know. Seth Rollins comes out, basically tells him he's the guest referee. So, you know, odds are stacked against Punk. All that goes down. Gunter and Damian Priest, they fought. And that shit's badass. I can't wait to see that because they're building that up. And I like how that gimmick's going. Like I said, Gunter called him a piece of trash, and he's mocking his historic reign as like being nothing, that he's not a person who could represent the title. So dope. Braun Breaker, he defeats Ilya Dragunov, and he's basically saying, look, this is why I'm going to be the new Intercontinental Champion. Look at what I do to people in the ring. So Sonya Deville fights Lyra Valkyria. She beats her, obviously, but there was a little assistance. I think it was Shayna Baszler who helped her in her match. Judgment Day attacks Jey Uso backstage because, you know, Dominic's upset that he's been hollering at Ripley. And Karrion Kross and the Authors of Pain, they defeat Akira Tozawa, Xavier Woods via pinfall, right? Karrion Kross pins Xavier.
I saw
anyways, that whole thing.
Real quick, I'm sorry, just a real quick stat that I saw on Instagram is this was the first match in 10 years that Xavier Woods had a different partner other than one of his New Day partners. So that was
that gimmick's going on because they jacked up Kofi, okay? The Authors, Final Testament, let's say. And he's basically trying to pressure Xavier Woods to make the Shawn Michaels move. You know, they compare it to that.
To turn on him.
Leave. Yeah. Instead, he went with the Alpha Academy. I think that shit's dope. So this goes into the dope segment because the video they showed this week was Nikki Cross, or the Witch, or Sister Abigail, whatever you want to say. It's basically her screaming That's why I mentioned to you on the phone. It's kind of like 13th Ghost. It's her screaming, help me, and shit like that. And then she says he
Okay.
saved her, and he asked her a question, and I don't know. It's weird, Like I said,
Who's he?
not Uncle Howdy,
Oh,
because
okay.
he's the one talking to them in all the videos. Even though you don't see
I
him, it's
see.
his voice.
Okay.
And so, anyways, this goes on to Chad Gable basically coming out, telling the Alpha Academy if they join him and the Creed brothers, they'll be even stronger. And Uncle Howdy's after everybody. And they're basically like, no, we quit. Otis is like, I quit. I told you when I was done, I'm done. And so Chad has the Creed brothers that beat the hell out of Otis. Okay. And as they're beating him up, that's when the song hits, right? Sister Abigail song. And everyone's like, you fucked up. And so obviously they blur that shit out because of the deal right now. And he's all looking around. The Wyatts appear on the stage, and then behind him is Uncle Howdy, and he does a Sister Abigail to him, and it's sick as hell. So it's dope that they introduce him. So that was that. Nothing real big on it, but it was cool they introduced Uncle Howdy at least doing something. Moving on quickly, Sheamus took out Bronson Reed and Pete Dunne because they were supposed to fight each other, but Sheamus is like, "You're not going to punk me. I'm going to come in and punk your match." So Bronson Reed was pissed off that he stopped the match, and they were kind of fighting in the ring. So that's going to be a big old triple threat feud probably in
Yeah.
one of the pay-per-views coming up. Um, Dominic basically tells Liv he hates her and shit like that. She's all crying. Zelina Vega defeats Zoe Stark via pinfall.
I heard
And
that that
then,
was her first win in over a year also.
yeah, she's been getting punked a lot lately. And Jey Uso and Sami Zayn, they defeat JD McDonough and Finn Balor, the fucking tag team champions, which was dope. Um, can't remember how he got distracted, but Jay hits the Uso splash and he gets the pinfall. Oh, it was Braun Breaker
Oh,
who he comes in after and spears Zayn at the end, right? Obviously, that's what his whole gimmick is. But I think with this, they're hinting at Sami Zayn and Jey Uso and the whole bloodline thing coming up. So
yeah.
very dope. They went this direction. Cool to see them back together again. Their entrance was dope. They did the high five, had the fucking yeet hands. They're all yeet, yeet, yeet. So
I don't like the whole yeet thing, bro. It drives me nuts to be honest with you, but whatever. I'm not a kid that it's geared towards. You know what I mean? So whatever. I try to
I
just
think
take it
it's
for what it
dope.
is. I think it's lame. I think it's so lame. I think they could have came up with something way better. I did see Rikishi's in a little bit of hot water right now because he said on his podcast how he feels like they're trying to ruin his marriage or something with this whole Rhea Ripley angle. He has since recanted his tweet or whatever he had that put it out. Or I'm sorry, it was a podcast, so he had since had it removed from all the platforms that it goes on. Because I don't know if it got Jay in some trouble or not. But that's a thing. I want to see. I'm anxious to see what happens with this whole um, bloodline angle here. Still, there's always cool stuff there unfolding. I saw that Randy got beat up. Saw that Randy got his ass whooped, and he might be out. And they're still slowly adding to that turn there. If that's something that happens here at SummerSlam, we'll all find out. I'm anxious to see what happens, man. We're a couple weeks away still, so I think this week is going to be the go home, isn't it? Or is it one more?
After this week, it's go time. So SmackDown's gonna have 2 more shows. Raw's gonna have 1 more.
Okay. Well, everybody, thank you for tuning in and checking out what we got to say about this week. Thank you, Grim, for letting us know what's cracking, and thank you for letting us know about the Comic-Con stuff too. So maybe next week we'll have some news on some releases. Speaking of releases, have you heard about Bobby Lashley, MVP, and Tamina leaving the company?
No, damn. But I did want to bring up something in other news, though, is that for those that didn't know, Nick Nemeth, also known as Dolph Ziggler, won the TNA World Championship. So I just wanted to say that because I think Dolph is man fucking
Yep,
dope as fuck with John
super dope.
Morrison. Had some of the
Super
best
dope.
matches.
Can't wait to see what he does with it because he deserves it. This whole new resurgence of TNA has been pretty awesome. We haven't really been able to see a whole lot, but from what I hear and what I read, I hear it's pretty awesome. Love to see that he's involved. Love to see that he's kicking butt over there. So, anyway, is that anything else you want to add real quick before we chop it off?
There was something with MJF, but I don't really remember something going on with him in the title run. I think he may have even won a title, didn't he?
Well, he beat Will Ospreay last week. I think we already talked about that one last week, though. He beat Will Ospreay and it was a bullshit. Like, don't get me wrong, that match should have probably main evented one of their big shows. But AEW's notorious for giving shit away for free and not really having much of a story to build up to it. So hopefully they do something better with that. I hear there's good things happening though, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. Anyway, thank you everybody for tuning in to the Hot Tag this week. We'll be back next week, and Grim will let us know what's cracking now, and it'll be our go home, I think, our go home edition next week. So hopefully we got some cool answers and some cool stuff to look forward to again. So everybody, thank you again. This is the Hot Tag tagging out. Till next week.
Yeah.